So this is one of my favorite things to talk about. Once you get a little more advanced in the estimating process, man, it becomes very simple, but also you can estimate things very, very quickly, right? So we just talked production rates before, right? So CYA, cover your ass. So this is like a fail-safe. I also call it the reasonability factor when we're estimating jobs. So as we went through all the calculations, we did all of our ciphering, we did the measurements and everything, we come up with a number. But as we've also discussed with the what y'all's metrics are as sales reps, is looking for that 40% gross margin, and how we use that $10,000 example, right? How we were talking about material costs should be between 10 and 15% of the total cost of the job. So I always like to cover my ass, especially on bigger jobs, just to make sure that my estimation looks right, and that I'm not making any big mistakes, because I've sold thousands of jobs at this point, but dude, I still fuck up all the time. So cover your ass. So I'd like to go back to that $10,000 analogy, okay? In fact, well, actually no, let's scrap that. We'll do something a little different. So say you went and you measured the building, right? So we were just talking production rates. So you found it's an aluminum sided building, so it doesn't require any scraping, any sanding. It's just a straight, hey, we're gonna pressure wash the dog shit out of this building. We're gonna mask the windows. We're gonna spray a coat of primer. We're gonna spray a coat of top coat. So this is the example I wanna use. So say you found there was 3,000 square feet siding, okay? Say there was 200 linear feet soffits, okay? Say there was another 50 linear feet of trim. So we got 3,000 square feet of siding. So we didn't talk coverage rates. So this is where things get a little bit different. So on trim, so we get so we'll start with painting. So we get 300 square feet per gallon of paint that we use. So for every 300 square feet, we use 1 gallon of material. So with trim, both soffits and trim, you know, unless the soffits are abnormally wide, you know, generally soffits are 1 to 2 feet. So unless the soffits are abnormally wide, so for soffits and trim, we also get 300 linear feet per gallon. And what you'll find is linear feet and square footage is the same thing, right? It's just shred rate. So in this example here, so say we're gonna do 2 coats. So that means we need to cover 6,000 square feet siding. So 6,000 divided by 300 is what? Be 20. So you got 20 gallons for siding, right? So for the soffits, you got 200 divided by 300. Oh shit, it's actually 400, so you gotta do 2 coats. So it's 400 divided by 300, which is what? It's like 1.33, right? Well, we don't use 1.33 gallons, so we're gonna round it up to 2. So 2 gallons. For the trim, so we, again, same kind of deal. We don't use a quarter of a gallon, right? So for the trim, you got 100 divided by 300, which is like 0.33. But again, we're gonna just round up another gallon. It gives us a little bit of buffer, but you'll see where I'm going with this example. So another 1 gallon. Okay, 1 gallon. So that means we have 23 gallons total allocated for this project. Okay, I ran out of space here. I gotta clean this off. So keeping the same example, 3,000 square feet, all these things. So we have 23 gallons, right? Okay, so 23 gallons. Our average cost here at S&S Painting and Restoration is $50 per gallon of paint. So you have 23 times $50 per gallon. Okay, so that would be $11.50. $11.50 in materials. So this job is sold to the maximum profitability that we possibly can, which, let's be real, that's not always the case, depending on who your client is, what market you're in, what your competition is. That's not always the case. We're not always going to be able to sell it in a fashion where the materials are exactly 10%. That's just the target. 15 is still an acceptable rate too. So that means on the high end, this job is $11,500. Okay? It means on the low end,